The stage of Jimmy Kimmel Live was set for what was supposed to be a routine late-night interview, but no one could have predicted the fiery confrontation that would unfold between host Jimmy Kimmel and Hollywood legend Clint Eastwood. The audience buzzed with anticipation as Eastwood, the iconic actor and director known for his stoic demeanor and cinematic masterpieces like Unforgiven and Gran Torino, stepped onto the set to promote his latest film. Kimmel, with his trademark grin, welcomed Eastwood warmly, kicking off the segment with his usual blend of humor and charm. "Clint, it's an honor to have you here tonight. You're a true icon," Kimmel began, his voice carrying the playful tone that has made him a late-night staple. Eastwood, however, responded with a curt nod, his piercing gaze hinting at an underlying tension. The audience, sensing something unusual, leaned forward in their seats, unaware that they were about to witness one of the most dramatic moments in talk show history. Kimmel, undeterred by Eastwood's reserved demeanor, dove into his questions, starting with a lighthearted jab about Eastwood's tough guy roles. "You've played some of the grittiest characters in Hollywood, Clint. Do you ever get tired of being the guy who squints and shoots?" Kimmel quipped, expecting a chuckle, but Eastwood's expression remained stone cold, and his response was sharp. "I don't play characters, Jimmy. I tell stories. Maybe you'd understand if you spent less time joking and more time listening." The audience gasped softly, and Kimmel's smile faltered for a split second. Trying to regain control, he pivoted to Eastwood's recent directorial work, asking about the inspiration behind his new film, which tackled real-world issues with unflinching honesty. Eastwood's answers were terse, almost dismissive, as if he resented being there. The atmosphere in the studio grew heavier with each passing minute, the usual laughter replaced by an uneasy silence. Kimmel, known for his quick wit, tried to lighten the mood with another joke, this time about Eastwood's age and enduring relevance in Hollywood. "You've been at this forever, Clint. What's the secret to do you just outlive everyone else?" The audience tittered nervously, but Eastwood leaned forward, his voice low and intense. "You think you can drag my name through the mud and walk away smiling, Jimmy?" he said, his words cutting through the air like a knife. The crowd fell silent, stunned by the sudden shift in tone. Kimmel, visibly thrown off, tried to laugh it off, saying, "Oh, come on, Clint, we're just having fun here." But Eastwood wasn't having it. He stood up, removed his mic, and fixed Kimmel with a stare that could have stopped a train. "I didn't come here to be your punching bag," he said, his voice steady but brimming with indignation. The studio erupted in murmurs as Eastwood turned and began to walk off the set, leaving Kimmel scrambling to fill the awkward silence. "Well, folks, that was unexpected," Kimmel said, his voice strained as he tried to regain his composure. The producers quickly cut to commercial, but the damage was done. The audience sat in stunned silence, unsure whether what they had just witnessed was scripted or a genuine clash. As the cameras panned away, Kimmel's forced smile couldn't mask the tension that lingered in the air. Social media exploded within minutes, with clips of the exchange leaked by audience members going viral across platforms like X and TikTok. Fans of Eastwood praised his no-nonsense attitude, with posts like, "Clint just showed Kimmel who's boss," garnering thousands of likes. Others defended Kimmel, arguing that his humor was standard for late-night TV and that Eastwood overreacted. The incident sparked a heated debate about the boundaries of comedic banter and the respect owed to legendary figures like Eastwood. Was Kimmel's playful roasting out of line, or was Eastwood too sensitive to handle the spotlight? The clash, real or not, became a cultural lightning rod, with commentators dissecting every word and gesture. By the next day, the story dominated entertainment news, with headlines screaming about the explosive showdown that had left Hollywood reeling. The internet buzzed with speculation. Had Eastwood been provoked, or was this a calculated move to generate buzz for his new film? No footage of the actual confrontation surfaced, only still images and voice-overs describing the event, which fueled rumors that the incident might have been exaggerated or even fabricated. Yet the raw emotion in the room that night felt all too real to those who were there, and the world was left wondering what had truly happened between the late-night host and the Hollywood titan. As the dust settled from the chaotic night on Jimmy Kimmel Live, the fallout from Clint Eastwood's dramatic walkout continued to ripple through the entertainment world. The incident, whether authentic or staged, had ignited a firestorm of reactions, with fans and critics alike dissecting the confrontation from every angle. On X, posts ranged from passionate defenses of Eastwood's integrity to accusations that Kimmel had crossed a line with his irrelevant humor. One user wrote, Clint Eastwood is a legend who doesn't need to put up with Kimmel's cheap shots. Respect your elders. While another countered, Kimmel's job is to poke fun. It's literally what late-night hosts do. Clint needs to lighten up. The polarized reactions highlighted a broader cultural divide, the tension between traditional relevance for icons like Eastwood and the modern, boundary-pushing style of late-night comedy. Meanwhile, entertainment blogs and news outlets scrambled to piece together the truth behind the clash. Some pointed to a fact-checking report from Lead Stories, which noted that Eastwood had not been a guest on Kimmel's show between January and April 2025, suggesting the entire incident might have been a fabrication spread through AI-generated videos and sensationalist YouTube content. These videos, often featuring mechanical voice-overs and still images rather than actual footage, had fueled the narrative of a heated clash, but their lack of concrete evidence raised red flags. Despite this, the story's viral nature kept it alive, with millions of views on platforms like YouTube and TikTok, where creators capitalized on the drama with speculative commentary. The absence of official footage from ABC, which airs Jimmy Kimmel Live, only deepened the mystery, as the network remained silent on the matter. Behind the scenes, sources close to the show hinted at a different story. Insiders claimed that Kimmel, known for his ability to handle difficult guests, had been caught off guard by Eastwood's intensity. Jim is used to sparring with celebrities, but Clint was on another level, one crew member reportedly said. It wasn't just the walkout, it was the way he stared Jimmy down, like he was ready to settle it in a parking lot. Others suggested that Eastwood, at 95, was growing wary of the media circus and had little patience for Kimmel's brand of humor, which often leans into personal jabs. The interview had started innocently enough, with Kimmel asking about Eastwood's storied career and his shift from action roles to directing socially relevant films. But when Kimmel pressed Eastwood on his views about Hollywood's changing landscape, hinting that his old-school style might be out of touch, Eastwood's demeanor reportedly shifted. "I don't care about trends," he allegedly said. "I make movies for people who think, not for kids chasing likes." The comment, though not captured on official footage, was recounted by audience members and quickly became a rallying cry for Eastwood's supporters, who saw it as a stand against the superficiality of modern entertainment. The incident also drew comparisons to other rumored walkouts, like Johnny Depp's alleged clash with Kimmel in April 2025, which was later confirmed to have occurred during a promotional appearance for Depp's film Day Drinker. Unlike the Eastwood story, Depp's walkout had verifiable clips circulating online, showing him removing his mic after Kimmel made a quip about his personal life. The parallels fueled speculation that Kimmel's approach might be wearing thin with high-profile guests, prompting debates about whether late-night hosts should dial back their provocations. As the controversy grew, some wondered if the Eastwood incident was a publicity stunt orchestrated to generate buzz for his new film or to boost Kimmel's ratings. Yet the lack of concrete evidence, coupled with Eastwood's reputation for authenticity, made the stunt theory hard to swallow for many. By the end of the week, the story had taken on a life of its own, with memes, opinion pieces, and even late-night monologues from Kimmel's competitors weighing in on the drama. Whether real or fabricated, the clash had tapped into a deeper conversation about respect, humor, and the evolving dynamics of celebrity culture in the digital age. The alleged clash between Jimmy Kimmel and Clint Eastwood became more than just a viral moment. It sparked a reckoning about the state of late-night television and its role in an increasingly polarized world. As the story spread, it exposed fault lines in how audiences perceive humor, respect, and the treatment of cultural icons. Eastwood, a figure who embodies a bygone era of rugged individualism, was seen by many as standing up to the glib, often cynical tone of modern talk shows. His supporters flooded X with posts celebrating his defiance, with one viral tweet reading, "Clint Eastwood just reminded us why he's a legend." Kimmel tried to play him for laughs and got schooled. Others, however, saw Kimmel as a victim of an oversensitive guest who couldn't handle the playful ribbing that defines late-night TV. Eastwood knew what he was signing up for, one commenter argued. "If you can't take a joke, don't go on Kimmel." The debate raged on, with each side digging in, turning the incident into a microcosm of broader cultural tensions. Fact-checking efforts continued to cast doubt on the story's authenticity, with outlets like Newsbreak and Lead Stories pointing out that no official record showed Eastwood appearing on Kimmel's show in 2025. The viral videos circulating online, which claimed to depict the clash, relied heavily on AI-generated narration and static images rather than actual footage, Further muddying the waters, some speculated that the story originated from a single misleading YouTube video posted in April 2025, which used a mechanical voiceover to describe a fictional confrontation. Despite these red flags, the narrative persisted, fueled by the public's fascination with celebrity drama and the allure of seeing two titans, Kimmel, the king of late-night comedy, and Eastwood, the stoic Hollywood legend of face-off in a public showdown. The lack of clarity only amplified the story's reach, as people filled in the gaps with their own interpretations. On the ground, those who claimed to have been in the audience that night shared conflicting accounts. Some described a palpable tension in the studio, with Eastwood's exit feeling like a genuine breaking point. Others suggested the moment was less dramatic than reported, with Eastwood simply leaving after a heated but civil exchange. "It wasn't a screaming match," one attendee posted on Threads. "Clint just looked fed up and walked out. Jimmy tried to play it off, but you could tell he was rattled." Kimmel himself addressed the incident in a subsequent monologue, joking, "I guess Clint didn't get the memo that this is a comedy show." But his lighthearted tone couldn't fully mask the awkwardness, and the absence of an official statement from Eastwood left room for speculation to flourish. The controversy also prompted a reflection on Kimmel's hosting style, which has long relied on pushing boundaries with guests. Critics pointed to other high-profile walkouts, like Johnny Depp's in April 2025, as evidence that Kimmel's penchant for personal jabs might be alienating guests. Supporters, however, argued that his humor is part of what makes his show unique, and that guests like Eastwood should expect a certain level of roasting. The incident raised questions about where to draw the line between entertainment and disrespect, especially when dealing with figures like Eastwood, whose legacy carries immense weight. By mid-2025, the story had evolved into a case study of how misinformation can spread in the digital age, with unverified claims gaining traction simply because they fit a compelling narrative. Yet, for all the skepticism, the emotional resonance of the story, whether true or not, kept it alive, as fans and detractors alike grappled with what it meant to see two cultural giants clash in such a public way. In the weeks following the alleged showdown between Jimmy Kimmel and Clint Eastwood, the incident took on a life of its own, transcending the confines of late-night television to become a cultural touchstone. The lack of definitive proof, coupled with the relentless churn of social media, turned the story into a modern-day legend, with each retelling adding new layers of intrigue. On platforms like X and TikTok, users continued to share and dissect clips, even as fact-checkers repeatedly debunked the narrative. A Lead Stories report from April 2025, which confirmed Eastwood had not appeared on Kimmel's show during the alleged time frame, did little to quell the frenzy. The story's staying power lay in its ability to tap into deeper societal divides, the clash between old-school values and new-age media, the tension between reverence and irreverence, and the blurred line between truth and spectacle in the digital era. For Eastwood's fans, the incident, a real or nota, reinforced his image as a no-nonsense icon who refused to bow to Hollywood's glitzy superficiality. "Clint's been making movies for longer than Kimmel's been alive," one ex-post declared. "He doesn't need to play these games." For Kimmel's defenders, the outrage was overblown, with many arguing that late-night TV thrives on pushing boundaries and that Eastwood's reaction, if it happened at all, was an overreaction to standard fare. The debate even spilled into academic circles, with media scholars analyzing the incident as a case study in how viral misinformation can shape public perception. Some pointed to similar stories, like the rumored walkouts of Johnny Depp, Kristen Stewart, and others, as evidence of a growing backlash against late-night hosts who lean too heavily into provocative humor. The controversy also had tangible effects on Jimmy Kimmel Live, with reports of increased scrutiny on the show's booking process and guest interactions. Insiders claimed that producers were now more cautious about pairing Kimmel with guests known for their prickly demeanors, fearing another public relations disaster. Meanwhile, Eastwood remained silent, neither confirming nor denying the incident, which only added to his mystique. His refusal to engage with the media circus was seen by many as a power move, reinforcing his reputation as a man who operates on his own terms. The story also highlighted the power of social media to amplify unverified claims, with YouTube videos and TikTok posts continuing to circulate long after the initial buzz. Some creators doubled down, producing elaborate reenactments of the supposed clash, complete with AI-generated voices and dramatized dialogue. These videos, while clearly fictional, kept the narrative alive, drawing millions of views and sparking fresh rounds of debate. By August 2025, The incident had become a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked misinformation, but it also underscored the enduring appeal of a good story, especially one pitting two larger-than-life figures against each other. Whether the clash was real or a product of internet hype, it left an indelible mark on pop culture, prompting soul-searching about the role of humor, the treatment of legends, and the fine line between entertainment and exploitation. As the world moved on to the next viral moment, the image of Clint Eastwood walking off Kimmel's set, whether it happened or not, remained a powerful symbol of a man who refused to be anyone's punchline.